Mr. K. We're getting ready to start the toy train project. You have logged into Onshape, and first thing we're going to do is create a new document. Toy train. Create. And now that we have our new document here, we're going to create the first part of the train. We're going to rename this Part Studio 1, and we're going to call it Train Body. Okay, so bring up the train body instructions, and you'll see that there are two pieces of it. Lots of different measurements on there. As I go through this, I'm probably not going to say the measurements very often, and you're probably going to not be able to see them as I work through the stuff here. You're going to need to look at those on your own. Very possible they'll be too small on the screen, and I might go pretty fast. Please make sure you're looking at the blueprint so that you can have the correct measurements. All right, so I'm going to start with the front view on this, and I'm going to start with the front of the train. Rectangle tool, making a rectangle because there's a circle sitting on top of a rectangle. Look at those dimensions, 2 and 0.875. And so there's the rectangle part. Now I'm going to use the circle tool, and I need it to be in the center, so I'm going to find my center point, go up an amount, doesn't matter what it is, make my random circle, and now I'm going to type in my diameter. It says it's 0.75, which would mean that's a 0.75 radius, which means 1.5 diameter. And now I need to dimension. So I've already got it dimensioned left and right because I have it lined up on the center, but I need to go from the center of the circle to the bottom of the rectangle, and that should be 1.375. Everything's in black, green check mark, extrude, and now I need to extrude all three pieces that I've created there, and it's going to go back the whole amount, which is 5.5. Green check mark. Oh, see, not even looking at it the right direction. Okay, so there's the first part of the body. I want to go to the back now and start a new sketch on the back. I'm going to need to look at the second picture on the instructions, and oh, you know what, that is the front. Let's do this. Go back into my extrude. Let's make sure we change our direction so it goes away from us. So there's the front, it's going away from us, which is what I want it to look like. Make sure I've got the front and the back done correctly. Now I go to the back, and I'm going to draw my rectangle, start a new sketch on this surface, and start in the bottom corner, and I'm going to go fairly high. I put my mouse on here, and then that forces it to line up with that, the little yellow lines, and I'm just going to go way high because this top part is going to disappear. Okay, now I need a point on this surface because that point is going to be the center of my top arc and the center of my circle. So I want to put it in the middle. So I've lined it up with the middle. Then I need to dimension to the side. Oh, that's on the middle, so that's already there. I'm going to hit escape, that way I don't turn that measurement on. It's just reading it. If I go undo, it goes away. And here's what happens if I hit enter. If I go from here to the side and hit enter, and hit enter, if I take my dimension tool and go from the point to the side and hit enter, okay, so the left and right is already completed, and now from the point to the bottom, and that measurement is 0.375. And so now I'm going to choose the center point arc. So I'm starting at the center, and I'm making my arc. I know it touches this side, and it goes to the other side. And now I need to have my radius. And my radius is 2.35. Enter. It's all in black. I can come back here with my scissors and get rid of that top line. That way it takes that shape away. Green check mark. Let's turn it so I can see what I'm doing. Extrude. I want that piece and the train body. Change the direction, and then I need to figure out how far forward it goes. Go back to my first page on the dimensions, and I can see that it's 1.75. Green check mark. So there's starting to kind of look like a train. Okay, got a little window in the back here. Start a new sketch on this surface. Take my circle tool, random circle. The diameter is, radius is 0.5, so the diameter is 1. I need to dimension from the center point of the circle to the bottom, and that's 1.75. From the center point of the circle to the back, and that's 0.25. And if you look carefully, the back part of this circle is straight lines. If I decided to extrude it right now, it would have a curve here, and I don't want that curve. So I'm going to go from the center. I want to make sure I line it up and go straight back. And I'm letting it help me do it. Turn the tool off, turn it back on. Oops, turn it back on. And go up, make sure I line it up. And go straight across. Everything's in black. Turn the tool off. Green check mark. Extrude. I want to choose all 3 shapes that I have there, and then I want to remove it, and I want to go through the whole thing. Green check mark. All right, let's see where we're at. So far so good. Okay, so I think I have my train body. Now I need to create all the little holes in everything. So in order to put all the holes, the first one I'm going to do is the one in the back here. If you look at your instructions, it says the diameter of 0.25 and a depth of 0.5, and it's got the same dimensions as the back of the train here. If I turn this eyeball on, I can now see that sketch. So I'm going to go to the hole tool, and in here I want it to be a simple hole. It's drilled, so that's fine. The hole diameter drill size is going to be 0.25, 1/4, 0.25. It's blind. We want the depth of that hole to be 0.5. And there's a note here that says all of the holes are drilled with point angles So it's coming with a point angle, which is this 118 degrees is fine. There's a couple of choices. We're just going to go with the 118 degrees. So I'm going to put that hole right here. And there it is. It's created. It's ready to go. And it's on the same location as this curve was. Green check mark. Come back here and turn that sketch off so it doesn't get distracting. Okay, so now we're going to go to the right side, and I'm going to put some points where the wheels are going to go. I know that one's going to go at the front here, and then I want to line up the one at the back so they're on the same line, that they are horizontal together. And then I need to dimension. The dimension between, now let's go from the front to the very back, is going to be 4.5, and from the back one to the very back is going to be 1. And green check mark. I don't want to do the holes yet. I want to take these and do the other side. So I want to use those same points. So start a new sketch on this other side. I'm going to use my point, and I should be able to use, here's a use tool, and if I do that, I can use that point and that point from the other side, because I can see them through the shape because they're still sketches and they haven't been consumed. So I have my 4 points. If I went in and dimensioned this from this point to the back, it's 4.5, which is fine. And if I dimension this one to the back, it's 1, and that's fine. So I don't need to do that twice. So I have 2 sketches, and now I need to consume those with the hole tool. This one's a little more complicated. This one is going to be a tapped hole. It's not going to show the threads, but we need to make sure they're here because they will show up when we do our drawings later on. So I have straight tapped is fine. The size is 1/4, 20 threads per inch, UNC. The fastener fit is going to be normal. Thread class is going to be 2B, which is the standard thread class, which is fine. Because we said the fastener fit was normal, it filled in these 2 numbers. We don't want to change those. It's going to go blind. The depth is 875, and the thread depth is 0.875. So the thread depth and the hole depth are going to be the same. So when I do that, it tells me that the percent, or the number of threads at the bottom, is 0. That are not being threaded is 0. And then I'm going to come through and I'm going to choose 1, 2, 3, 4, and because it lets me choose them from the other side, because I can still see the sketches through the shape. Green check mark. Like I said, it's not going to put the threads in there until we go to our drawing. And let me see if I can show you that right now. Hopefully you did this when we were doing it in class together. I hope. If not, I'm going to go through this super fast. You're going to go to your homepage in Onshape. We're going to go to public, and if you type, there's lots of different things in public. If you type in CFBENGINEERING, engineering, and it comes up with a lot of different documents that CFB is using, and we want the title block, RL Turner title block. So I'm going to click on this, and it brings this document as a view only document. I want to copy it. So on the 3 bars here, I want to copy workspace. And here I have CFB Engineering RL Turner title block copy. I really don't want that copy, so I'm going to take that word copy off. I'm going to put it right there in this folder, which is because we're CFB, that's fine, and open. It's going to take a second to load it, which is fine. I'm going to still copy it here. This is all the folders that students have done, so I'm just going to say copy here. You won't have those options. You'll just have copy here, and it's created it there. So now I go back to my home page, and in here, created by me, I have my CFBRL Turner title block. And so there it is. It's in my created by me folders. So I'm going to go back into the toy train. See, I want to create drawing. And in here, if it's not already in the recently opened, you should go with created by me, and there will be the CFB in RL Turner title block. So I can choose that and open. And now it's created as a document. It's got my name down here. It's got the project name, and that will change when you change the title down here. So let me go ahead and turn this off. If I rename it Toy Train, and it changes the name right there. So I want to insert my train body. I'm going to need the front, the back, the side, and the top. So here, and if I go this direction, and then I'm going to go from here, and I'm going to go up. And so the one thing I want you to see here is that it is showing the threads. And that's the key piece of information that we need to have there. So it's showing that there are threads on your little holes that you put here. Okay, just to let you see, turn the tool off, and I'm going to show hidden lines, and you can see the ones in the back. And if I go here and show hidden lines, and you can see them from the top, and all the different hidden lines, show hidden lines. And so there's going to be a lot in here as it does this. There we go. Okay, so I'm going to go back to my train body. I need to get the 3 holes in the front. So I'm going to change the front view, start a sketch. On this front, I'm going to put my 3 little dots. One, the next one lines up. It's on this side, and then there's one in the middle there. Now I need to dimension the distance from here to the edge, which is 0.375. The distance from here to the edge is 1.625, and that should be 375 to there. Oh, look at that, 375 to there. Okay, and now the height of both of these. So the height from the big dot, or the top dot, going down is 0.625, and then from the lower dot to the bottom is 0.125. There we go, and you'll see it move both of them because I had them lined up. Green check mark, create my holes. And these are not tapped, they're just regular drilled. The diameter is 0.125. So you'll see that changes. The depth is 0.125. It's got a little point on it, which is fine. It's going to go blind. And so now I want to choose 1, 2, 3. Green check mark, there's my 3 little holes. I've got the one in the back, the holes for the wheels. The last one is going to be the hole for the smokestack on top. So to do the smokestack on top, I need to create a new plane. So I'm going to go plane, and I want it to be not, well, it's going to be offset, but it's not offset on this one. I want it to be tangent to this curve. When I do that, it puts that tangent at the bottom of the curve. Well, I don't want it at the bottom of the curve, I want it at the top of the curve. So I'm going to flip its alignment, and now it's tangent to the top of the curve. Okay, so green check mark. There's my new plane. I need to work up here, but that plane goes all the way across. It doesn't matter that it's at the back of the shape. That's not that big of a deal. So start a new sketch on this plane. I could either choose the plane here or choose the word plane. So I'm going to choose the word plane, and now I'm going to go to my top view so I can see what I'm doing, and I know that it's going to be here. So I want to create my point because I'm going to put a hole in here. That point needs to be in the middle, and it's not letting me choose anything because everything's a curve. So I'm going to random thereabouts. I don't know exactly. Now I need to dimension. From the dot to the edge is 1. From the dot to the front is, take a look at your blueprint, is 0.875. And thinking. There we go. Green check mark. Now I'm going to put the hole into it. I know that I can put the hole into it to begin with. It's just going to be a small hole like it did a minute ago because it's remembering all those measurements. That's not what I want. It is a drilled hole. The diameter is 0.5, and so the diameter is 0.5, and because it's remembering things from before, and then the depth is 0.25. And so when it finishes thinking, there we go, and that's the hole for the smokestack. Green check mark, come here, turn it around. There's my front and my side. All my little spots are in there. I have all the holes put into it. One more little piece of information. It says that to round all edges, and the radius is 0.1. So we're going to round all edges. So I'm going to come over here to the fillet, and I'm going to say that the distance radius is 0.1, and I'm going to start choosing sides. Now, if I chose this flat surface, you'll notice it puts a fillet there, and that's not what I want. So I'm going to turn that one off. I don't mind. I can go through and choose step by step which ones I need. And sometimes it will let me grab, and it will actually do all of them at the same time, which is fine. Some of them it does what it's supposed to do. There we go. And then I can choose that one, and it will do all of them. I can choose that one, and it will do, so there's that curve going all the way around, but I don't want the holes. So I'm going to choose just the surfaces that I really want. Move it around so I can see what I'm doing, and this one should follow that curve. There it goes across the top. Maybe I can choose the whole top, and I want to choose that curve, that back, and those surfaces. Give it a chance to catch up with me. There it is. I'm going to say green check mark, and I want to come over here and turn this plane off, and let's see how I've done. Did I miss any? I don't think so. I think I've got them all. All right, so there we go. I can now go trisymetric, and the next thing I need to do is some color. So I don't want the default blue here. I'm going to go with this kind of darkish green. That's kind of cool. Green check mark. And I want to add some other color to it. Let's change all the fillets to a light gray. So I'm going to come over here, change light gray, and then I'm going to choose the fillet, and it should put the fillets all light gray. Yeah, I like the way that looks. Green check mark. There we go. That's kind of cool, at least for me. All right, so last thing I need to do is rename this part here. So I'm going to rename it all caps, and I want it to say train body, TRAINBODY, train body. Okay, and click. So now when I go back into my toy train document and I hit reload, it should go through and put the 3 little holes in the front, and the smokestack hole is there. My fillet is all the way around. Project name, toy train. Part name, train body, made by Mason Kolkhorst on today's date. All right, so I'm probably going to need to add another sheet for the next part, and we'll keep going. Okay, back to the front, create Part Studio, and start working on the next part.